Hey guys, it's Miss Stazak, and today what we're going to be doing is we are going to draw a beautiful cake, and it's going to be a large cake. Notice that the cake that I have right here in front of you guys, it's pretty large and it takes up a normal size sheet of paper. So we're going to go ahead and draw this first, but if you look in the middle here, inside my cake, I have 3 layers of cake. And our goal with those 3 layers of cake is to practice our shading. So today we're going to be going over some shading, but we're also going to have fun by decorating our cake. So just follow the steps closely when we get to that part, because it's going to require you to apply very little pressure and then medium pressure and then really hard pressure to create those different shades. All right, so let's go ahead and get started because it's going to take a little while. All right, so we're going to start off with a piece of paper, right? Just grab any piece of paper, even if it's lined with stripes on it, that's perfectly fine. And first we're going to start off with a pencil, okay? And then we're going to go ahead and color it in later on once we're done with our shading. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to, at the top of the paper, and I want you to notice again how large the cake is. It takes up almost the whole page. So we're going to start with a large oval at the very top. Not too skinny. It needs to be kind of a little bit wider of an oval. So, but not too big because we don't want to take up the whole paper on the top. So at the very top, again, we're going to go ahead and start with our oval shape. Doesn't have to be perfect. Don't press too hard so that if you erase or need to erase, you can go ahead and do that. Okay. So start off there, kind of erasing a little bit there. All right. I don't know if y'all can see that. Let's try this again. Let's make it just a tad bit darker. All right. I'm going to start off with my oval shape. Okay, almost taking up the entire page there. Now you guys press slightly so that you can erase easily and it doesn't kind of stain your paper. Okay, so that looks pretty good. And sometimes it's good to just kind of hold your paper away from you or look away from it a little bit so you can see. The next thing we're gonna do is on the very edge, like right here and right here, on the very farthest part of the circle, we're just gonna make 2 lines going down. So I'm gonna start on this side, and I'm just gonna kind of lightly sketch it out. And I'm gonna stop about right there. And I'm gonna do it over here too. When I sketch it out, it kind of helps me see better how straight my lines are. Okay, so the next part is gonna be the bottom part. Now, this is gonna be a little bit of a tricky part, so pay attention. This part right here is going to be kind of rounded. So I'm going to go slightly out and I'm going to stop about right here. Okay. So notice it's not quite in the middle, right, of my cake. It's going to be about right here for now. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. I'm going to go ahead and bring this one down a little bit because we want them to be even, right? And then I'm going to bring this one in and it's a rounded line. It's kind of rounded. It's not totally straight, okay? And we'll come back and fix that in just a moment to make it a little more even. The next thing I'm gonna do is in my oval up here, I'm gonna place a little tiny dot, a little circle, right in the middle, right in the center. So I'm gonna make that a little darker for you guys to see. So in the middle of this large oval here, I made a little dot. And then I'm going to place a dot right here, right underneath it, straight down in the middle of this sort of rectangle shape. So I'm gonna point my finger here, go straight down, and I'm gonna make a dot right underneath it. Good. The next thing I'm gonna do is I'm going to make a straight line going down to connecting my dots. Okay. And then I'm going to connect from here my dots. So I'm gonna connect one here. Okay, so now I'm gonna erase a little bit of that. And then I'm gonna connect this one over here, trying to make almost like a perfect little triangle. It's not gonna be exactly perfect, but we're gonna try our best to keep it nice and straight so that both sides are similar. And another word for that is symmetry, keeping our symmetry. The next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna now take this dot and I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna make a triangle up here. So I'm gonna go out here and then out here. Very good. Okay. The next step is I'm going to connect now this line here to this line here. So I'm gonna go straight down, connect it with the edge. And then now from this dot to here. Kind of looks like a dot, but it's from line to line. Okay. All right. Now we just need to erase a couple of things. We need to erase this line here and this line here. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. And this line. Okay. All right, so we have the cut out piece of our cake. So now we're gonna go ahead and make those 3 layers. So carefully watch how I do it. So I'm gonna start over here on this edge and I'm going to go in an angle up, okay? I'm not gonna go straight like this, right? I'm gonna go in an angle. So I'm gonna place them, try to keep them perfectly spread out. So I'm gonna go 1 and then 2, okay? And the next thing I'm gonna do is now I'm gonna connect this one over here. So I'm gonna do the same thing. They have to connect 1 and then 2. Okay, looking good. All right, so I have my 3 layers, 1, 2, 3, 3-layered cake. It's gonna be yummy. And the other thing we need to do is our cake needs to be on a plate. So we're gonna start about the middle of our rectangle. So notice your rectangle part of the cake. And about in the middle of that, I'm just gonna go and I'm gonna make a really large oval. And then I'm gonna bring it back to the middle again, okay? Because this line should kind of line up over here too, okay? All right. Now, of course, if I'm going too fast, you guys can slowly rewind the video, okay? All right, so we have our layers, we have our plate. Now, the next thing we want to do is we're going to shade. We're going to start practicing our shading. So we're going to look at this one first, the one that I completed, and notice that my shading here is light, medium to dark. Now, when we get to the dark, you don't need to press so hard, like crazy, crazy hard. But you do want to push down and give it some pressure, okay? So on the next one, the first one we're gonna do is gonna be very light. And a regular pencil's fine. And all we're gonna do is just very, very lightly shade that in. You're like really not pressing at all, okay? Really not pressing at all. Okay, and we wanna try and get on the edges too. I think I'm gonna stop about there. And what you can do with the pencil is you take your finger and you just kind of shade it and spread it around. And it smudges around really nicely, okay? So we're gonna go to the other side and we're gonna do the same thing. Lightly, lightly press, you're not even pressing really. So just very lightly, we are just shading that top piece in. And now I'm gonna just take my finger and I'm gonna smudge it around. Just on those 2 little top layers. Okay, looking good. Next, we're gonna do our medium. So this is gonna be kind of like the way you would just normally write in school. Not really pressing hard. So it shouldn't be too much pressure. Some people write with this type of pressure, but it's gonna be a little bit light. Just try to control, because that's the most important thing with shading, guys, is learning how to control the pressure that you apply to whatever it is you are trying to shade. All right, so then I'm going to do it again. I'm going to shade and spread that out with my finger there. And just shade it, fill it in. And our last one, we're going to use a darker shade here. So we're going to apply more pressure. Not so hard, but just enough to make it dark. Because the goal is to kind of create going from one shade, and it should transition very smoothly. So from light to medium dark to very dark. It should be a nice, easy flow of shade. All right, so we're pressing a little bit harder here, but ultimately not too much. Okay, and then the last part. Because shading is definitely something you will be doing when you get to middle school. So that may be next year for some of you or in 2 years. But if you're planning to take art, which I'm sure a lot of you will want to take art, it's going to get more technical, guys, meaning that you're going to have to pay more attention to these types of details like pressure and things like that. Okay. And did you notice that I also stayed going in the same direction? I don't think I went up and down, but you should try and stay in the same direction because it makes it nice and smooth and clean, all the little lines and stuff. All right, so then I'm slowly and gently just spreading that pencil around there. Okay, so I have, it looks like a maybe milk chocolate, maybe a mixture of dark and milk chocolate there, and then dark chocolate cake, right? That's my imagination. So the next thing we're gonna do is, since we've completed the shading part, we're gonna go ahead and just decorate it. So you can do whatever you want. Maybe somebody has a birthday coming up and you wanna give them a cake, but you can't bake a cake and you can't run to H-E-B to get the cake, right? So you can create a cake. This could be a card for somebody. You can also create a fiesta cake. So you can use markers, pencils, colored pencils, or just pencil. All right, so I'm gonna try and do something a little bit different than what I did. So let's see, what I like to do first, if you wanna do that chocolate that's kind of dripping down, you would kind of start right here maybe and just do like some nice chocolate melted on the cake. Looks like it's just drizzling down, right? And then sometimes there's different decorations, right? So you can kind of think of whatever you want. You could do fiesta, like confetti everywhere. You could write happy birthday or some kind of message to somebody, whatever it is you'd like. So I'm just gonna kind of stick to a real simple design. So I think I'm just gonna do like some little circles, maybe make these different colors, or we can pretend that they're little candies or something on the cake. You could even make it like a superhero cake. I think that could be kind of cool. Do a little bit of chocolate down here too. Okay, and maybe, let's see, how about just some cool flower here? And then maybe another one here. I'm just gonna keep it kind of simple, guys, okay? You can do whatever it is you'd like, and I want to see them, so post them. All right, so then the next thing I'll do is I'm just gonna go ahead and color it in. It could be whatever color you want. So remember, chocolate can be dyed, and so can icing. Icing can be dyed. So this cake can be whatever color you want it to be. And also don't forget to color your plate. So this was mine. I'm gonna just go ahead and skip to this. And this was my cake. So I did a little bit of dark chocolate melted on my cake, and then I filled it in with turquoise because that's my favorite color, and I decorated it with those 3 different flowers. What you can always do, that you guys know I usually try and stress this, is you can go ahead and trace the cake when you're done. Go over the lines again. Just kind of trace it, make it nice and clear, okay? And let's see where my brown is. There it is, there's the brown. And just try to fill it in and make it really pretty. And maybe you can give it to somebody at home. while you're home. Maybe someone's birthday is coming up, huh? All right, guys, that is it. So I want to see those cakes. You could put candles on yours. You can write a message around it. You can do whatever you'd like. Decorate the plate if you'd like, okay? All right, I will see you guys soon. Hope to see your artwork very soon. Bye, guys.